Welcome to the Fantasy Addiction Network. Today we are talking Week 14 preview of the San Francisco 49ers versus the New Orleans Saints. So this is going to be one of the more interesting and exciting matchups this week. Both teams are very much interested in winning this game. The 49ers just lost the lead in the NFC West, so they're trying to regain that, and the Saints are playing for a first round bye in the playoffs. So there's a lot at stake in this game. The over-under right now is 44.5, and New Orleans is actually favored to win. Implied point total is about 24-21. So they're actually expecting a little bit lower score of the game. I think this could quickly turn into a shootout. It is at home. Drew Brees typically plays a lot better in the Superdome, and the 49ers defense continues to sustain more and more injuries. So I think this is actually going to be more of an offensive scoring affair than the Vegas line implies. So looking at the Saints, with that being said, I am plenty confident in starting Drew Brees this week. Even though he's playing the 49ers defense, I think he does plenty enough to warrant a fantasy start. I think he is a good play. Obviously, you are starting Kamara. There's no reason at this point that you're going to talk yourself out of doing so. Again, I think he ends up being a really good play this week. Even if he doesn't get much going on the ground, he always gets enough receptions to make a fantasy day worth starting him, and I think he actually has a really good game this week. From a receiver perspective, same thing. Of course, you're starting Michael Thomas. There's no reason to ever pivot off of him. I do expect that there will be another receiving option in this game that has a really good fantasy game, but I don't know who it is. It could be Ginn, it could be Smith, or it might just end up being Taysom Hill again. So even though there will most likely be more fantasy points scored outside of Michael Thomas, I'm not looking for that option. That's not something that I want to bank on, especially at this point in the season where you need to win this week. From a tight end perspective, I am hoping to be able to pivot off of Jared Cook if you have a better option on the waiver wire or on your bench. The 49ers are very good against the tight end. In fact, they actually allow the least amount of points to opposing tight ends. And Jared Cook had a few pivotal drops last week, so I think that this is a week that if you can avoid playing Jared Cook, you're going to be thankful for it. And from a defensive side of the ball, I'm not looking to start either defense in this game because I'm predicting this to be more of a barn burner. So I don't think that there's a lot of points to be scored starting either of these defenses unless one of them gets a defensive touchdown, but good luck predicting that. From the 49ers side of the ball, basically the same thing that applied to Drew Brees applies to Jimmy Garoppolo. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game, and I think Jimmy G is a really good start for your fantasy team. From a running back perspective, Breida is coming back this week. He's been practicing fully all week. Tevin Coleman is still involved, and Raheem Mostert had a bit of a breakout game last week. So this is really turning into a quite the quandary of a fantasy mess, because we know that it's likely that one of these running backs is going to have a good game. The 49ers have a very good run game. Kyle Shanahan knows how to get fantasy points for running backs. We've seen it for most of his career. But can you predict which one of those three is going to have the good game this week? I don't want to bank my fantasy playoff chances on trying to guess which one of these three is going to have a good game. So if at all possible, I'm pivoting off of all three of them. From a receiver perspective, I think this is going to be a killer Deebo Samuel week. If you have Deebo Samuel, do everything you can to get him into your lineup. I'm also comfortable starting Emmanuel Sanders, even though he's been a little bit underwhelming the past couple weeks. I think he's had enough time to recover from his rib injury. He might get shadowed by Marshawn Lattimore, but it's likely that Lattimore will go back and forth between Sanders and Samuel. So I think that both Sanders and Samuel will have a good week this week. And of course, you're starting George Kittle. George Kittle is going to be a pivotal reason why the 49ers can stay in this game, and I think that there's going to be a lot of passing to be had, so those three guys should all be in your lineup. Same thing for the 49ers defense. I'm not playing them if I can avoid it because this is going to be a high scoring affair. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to like and subscribe, and check out my playlist for the other previews for this week, and hope you guys have a good day.